Hello. You find me back here, recently revived from the dead, having fallen foul again of the mining an item from a tile you're standing near bug. Alright, let's bring this in here, because this is... what's the best way to do this? Yeah, let's do it this way. Alright, so we have iron ore. We have a smelter. We will feed the smelter and send the product out. Okay. Then that comes out over here, feeds into this fuel cell machine. Then we'll have some other things to do later. Okay, so this is our fuel cell belt. Now, as I said before, I did a live stream where I designed and then tested the performance of some reactor designs. This was the design that won. It's very simple and it fits within our build area. So I think this is what I'm going to use, and I don't know if I can fit 4 of them in, but I might be able to. The only fly in the ointment for this, let's just see. So if one was to go, yeah, I think we could possibly, no, we can fit 2 in. Okay, I can either do it that way or that way. I quite like the idea of doing it this way. Okay, so, yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Let's get it a bit more centralized. Now, there's obviously a couple of issues with this build. So I would like, that's where I'd like it. Except, I'm not convinced by the exact location of belts. So, what I'm going to do is make a copy of this by exporting it, then importing it. I'm going to upgrade it like that. Then I think from map view, I'm going to stamp it down twice. I think that's... once there. Once there. Okay, then let's have a look at the design again. Okay. So I think we're going to do the belts differently. This probably isn't too bad, but this whole arrangement here is not ideal. Maybe the thing to do is to let it place the floor and then to trim back the floor as we decide. Okay, so let's put this back down. All right. So that didn't go down. Did I do something silly? Or is that the wrong blueprint? This one? Or this one? There's a problem. I'm going to undo all this because I've got a feeling I've put the blueprint down in a place that doesn't work. Whoops, let's get the fish deconstructor. Alright, let's try that again. So... okay. So that line there avoids a power pole at the bottom, but goes off the top. That line there clashes with a power pole at the bottom, but has the virtue of fitting. So that, whoops. All right, poor fish. Bit confused about which of these. That's the one with platform. Okay, so I'm sure that's the right place. Alright, let's do that again there. So I think that's the right flooring. Okay, so at the moment we bring in a belt here of fuel cells. Right, let's make this really much smaller. To walk over in person to fix this. I can't get through there. Okay. Good. Okay. So what's going on here? This doesn't have power. Okay. So then, at the moment, this is never going to work because the bad uranium will just buffer up. So what I need is a big buffer. Okay, so that's the buffer so far. That will keep everything moving. then at some point this will need to go through an enrichment process, and we will figure out the best way to do that. By then we'll have a great big buffer in the way of our build, which will make life more interesting. Actually, if I preempt the problem, so this needs to be filtering on that. All right. So this will all continue to run for a while. And yeah, I'll leave this as is. So this here, now we set this up, but we didn't give it a schedule. So this is requesting iron ore. It's got a name. It needs to be on a schedule. The schedule it needs is iron ore. A train is coming in. Great. So we can make fuel cells. Except we can't because there's no uranium. But that is fine. We will work this out. Okay, so this is starting to get placed down. Oh look, there's our ore. Nice big building going on. Cool. How are we doing here? So we have the things we asked for. All right. Now my hovercraft. Where is my hovercraft? Oh, we got some iron. Oh, this even has a 235. Oh, that's really good. We've made some fuel. Oh, I'm really pleased about that. So it is tempting to double it. Not for any other reason than because at the moment the only way we can get the 235 is by the refining process. Once we can do Coverex enrichment, I can drop the number of miners, of these right back, but not yet. All right, so let's come over here. And we'll need to figure out what's going on with the belts. Because at the moment, in this design, the belts come in from the east, go loop around the whole build, come out on the west. Then there's a filtering step, and then it would go unsuccessfully into the second build because everything would be filtered out in the first build. So I think what I'm going to do is build the first reactor, maybe the second one as well, I'm not sure, but I'm going to have to reroute the belts, and I don't know if I want to route them back underneath, but I want to bring them back the way they came from. Alright. At least this is building at a good speed. Can we even put this down now? Can we put any of this down now? Some of it. May as well get some of it built if we have some of it. Okay, and then there's a second one that goes down here. Not very much of that. Okay, so this whole area here needs to come out. I think the flooring associated with it can also go. Go back to fish mode. Right. Then this stuff here will need to go, but I want to see the build first. In fact, I'm going to put my hovercraft in the middle here. I never thought I'd be in a situation where I had a hovercraft in the middle of a nuclear power reactor. And how are we doing for... Resources are arriving. Okay. This would be a really silly time to start putting down new blueprints because we don't have power. How many fuel cells do we have? Quite a few, actually. So I think we're going to be okay. Okay, just keep stumping it down so that as we can get things, they will be on their way. I don't know why my bots are preferring to build over the other side. I prefer them to build this side, frankly. Okay, so the idea is once these 8 nuclear reactors are down, we should have quadrupled our power, and at that point I can go nuts with the building things with bots without having to worry about power supply. Because look, we're right on the edge here with 300. Each of these blocks of 4 should produce 480. So we should have basically treble the current power. Alright. I guess the good sign is, since they're not particularly building over this side, that there must be incoming construction bots for all of this. Alright, so let's stamp down again. We're getting there. Does look very impressive, doesn't it? Alright, so what are my plans for this build? So obviously I want to launch a rocket, but I want to do it with this very decentralized modular build approach. At some point, the starter island, well, you can see already there's not as much stuff here as there used to be, frankly. So at some point, this will not be appropriate for maintaining a shop. So at some point, we will need to move the shop out. So I'm quite looking forward to that. But for now, our main concern is increasing the range of sciences. And we can't do that until we have a supply of oil, which is which can then be brought into the manufacturing areas. And we can't currently get oil because our power situation is bad. Because our power situation is bad, we can't send the robots out to do the building jobs. Okay. But it won't be long until there isn't enough material being mined here to keep the shop running. So we'll have to start either training materials in or setting up manufacturing sites, one way or the other, to keep everything moving. Okay, so that's that done. Let's have a look. How are we doing? Pretty good, actually. So we just need a few more blocks down to be able to place the 4th reactor. There we are. And then there's a few more blocks to go down over here. Okay, how are we doing for pumps? Oh, we've got 6. That's great. 1, 2. Actually, let's do this slightly differently. Alright, so I'm going to put 1 pump on the end of each of these stacks, which I think is overkill, but fits in with my policy of using the fact that we're building on water. Okay, so things are starting to go down. Ah, this is a problem. Didn't see that coming. Okay, so let's put this down. Where are we? Pumps. Pump. Okay. And we'll fiddle about with this one in a minute. And it occurs to me, we do not have substations being built. All right. I'm just filling this in by hand to get it done. Yep, that is it. Oh, hang on. Right, I was being a bit of a numpty there. So, put this back. Alright, so there should have been one of these here. Okay, so I think the next thing, I have 2 jobs I could do. I could make substations back at home, or I could get this build done by the substations. And I think what I'm going to do is a bit of both. So let's get a assembly machine. If this was going to make substations, it needs steel, copper, and red circuits. Okay. And we just happen to have somewhere that has steel, copper, and red circuits in abundance. So, red circuits, steel, copper. There we are. And then put that out. And then I need one of these, and I need to connect it to the network, enable when substations is less than 50 is as good a number as any. Then copy. All the way up here. Blueprint that down. That will get built. Hunky dory. All right. I'm going to leave the episode here because we are out of time. But as you can see, this is getting built. The job next time is going to be figuring out the belts issue, which is going to be more than a 2-minute job, I think. So we will leave it till next episode. Till then, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.